এখানে দেখো যে this is the solve class, right? Solve class of material. Today we'll go through the solve class of material stock control. The chapter we have discussed in previous class. So today we will look forward the material related problem solving. Okay. Initially, we'll discuss about the important graph, that is EOQ graph. EOQ. Last class we have discussed economic order quantity, right? EOQ is a specific model. It provides you, or it represents or it calculates a specific amount of quantity that to be ordered, that to be stocked, so that you can minimize your total stock related annual cost. Okay. The graph was just like this one, right? This is TCH, total holding cost, and this is TCO, total holding cost. Elaborately we discussed in the previous class, right? This segmented point is EOQ. In exam, you may be asked question like that. Suppose, as for example, if your CO increases, the question is just like this: if your CO increases, what will be the effect on EOQ? If your CO increases in several portions, so how it will affect your EOQ? CO. If your CO increases, then this line will be shifted upwards. But if your CO decreases, in that case this CO line will shifted downwards. So here we are saying that if your CO, ordering cost per order, increases, in that case the line, suppose the line may be new line. So how this increased CO affect your EOQ? Initial EOQ was this much. Now your EOQ is this much. That means with the increased CO, your EOQ per order cost, that is EOQ, increases. Clear? Now the question may be, what will be the effect if CO, ordering cost per order, decreases? In that case, the graph will be, your total CO line will decreases to or shifted to origin. Origin means center. In that case, the graph will be just like this one. So it was your initial EOQ. Now your new EOQ is this much. That means initially you are in this position. Now you are decreasing. The quantity required is decreasing. So with CO decrease, your EOQ also decreases. You guys may be asked this question by providing different kinds of numerical values. As for example, initially your CO was 20, CH is 10, D is something like that. Then the question is, if now CO is 5 per ordering cost, so what will be the effect on EOQ? There is no need to calculate that. You can find out the answer by using the graph only. Whether your EOQ increase or decrease. Clear? Okay, now the question will be asked in this way, that is, suppose this is your TCH and this is TCO, this is your EOQ, right? This was the initial provided. Now the question is, if your holding cost per unit increases than the previous, or you guys may be asked, initial holding cost per unit is 10 taka, now it is 50 taka. So what will be the effect? There is no need to calculate that. You can just easily find that using the graph. If your holding cost per unit, this is TCH, we have already discussed in the classes. If your holding cost per unit increases, the line shifted upwards. If the holding cost decreases, the line shifted downwards. So here we are saying that is our holding cost per unit increases. So the line maybe this one. In that case, what will be your EOQ? EOQ shifted to this position. Initially EOQ was dispatched. Now your new EOQ shifted or reduced. That means as your holding cost per unit increases, your EOQ increases. But if the holding cost per unit decreases, in that case the line will be just like this much. In that case, suppose your holding cost per unit decreases, then the new line will be this one, this much. Here, EOQ, initially EOQ was at this level, now your new EOQ is increasing the previous. Clear? So by just drawing the graph, you can answer this question, and this question is very much familiar in ACCA. Clear? Okay. Then some extra models from where you can expect questions. LIFO, these are very much important as well. FIFO. FIFO, what does FIFO mean? I do not provide the description of LIFO, FIFO and FIFO in the class course, because this portion I will just discuss in class, and this classes is video. If you get these classes in your video lectures, right? So you have to go through that way. So what do we mean by FIFO? You can say this is stock valuation. Stock valuation. You can value your stock by different way. One is FIFO, another is LIFO, another is FIFO. We will discuss each one. First of all, FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. First in, first out means here the saying is just like, suppose as for example, day 1, day 3, day 4. Day 1, you purchase 10 units of a specific material at 5 taka per unit. This is unit, this is dollar. In day 1, you purchase 10 units of some specific product, 5 taka per unit. Here, in day 3, you purchase, suppose as for example, 15 units. 7 taka per unit. Now, in day 4, so these units are purchased by you, right? In day 4, suppose you issue. That means these are your stock order. Now, in day 4, you are issuing some specific amount of material, as for example, suppose 10 units of material. In some cases or in some activities where you are involved. Now the question is, what will be the cost of these 10 units? Initially you buy 10 units 5 taka per, then second day 15 units 7 taka per, day 4 eshe, suppose 4th year, you are issuing 10 units from your stock. Now the question is, what will be the cost of issue and what will be the value of remaining stock? The question is just like that. If you are using FIFO method, FIFO, first in, first out, first in, first out. According to FIFO, the material issued first, that comes first. That means your issuing should be from your starting, right? So the valuation of your issuing will be, this 10 will be issued from the first receipt. Here you receive per unit by 5 taka. So 50 taka will be your $50 will be your issuing. So what will be the valuation of your remaining? Remaining is, this one is remaining stock. So this is issuing, and stock valuation is stock. The stock valuation is $15 into 7. Clear? This is FIFO. That means issue any kinds of material, from the material that comes first. যেটা আগে আসছে সেটাকে আগে ইস্যু করো। Clear? Okay. Now the fact is, the question may be LIFO. This may be LIFO. Last in, first out. That means you have to issue the material from the last material you received. Before that. That means, suppose here you purchasing some material in day 1. In day 3 you are purchasing some other material. In day 4 you are issuing. According to LIFO, your issuing should be, we have said that is, your issuing should be from the last receipt before it. Etar age last konta, this one. So this 10 unit should be issued according to value of this $7 per. So you can cut this. It's still there are 5 because you are issuing 10 units, so 5 units is still there, and these 10 units remain. So now the fact is, your issuing price is $70, and what will be your stock valuation? Your stock valuation is this 5 unit, $7.35, and this 10 unit, just like the previous, $5.50. So this will be your stock valuation, and this much is your price of issuing. So this is the LIFO method, right? It's okay. Good. ঠিক আছে। আরে কারেন্ট খালি যাচ্ছে আর আসতেছে, অবস্থা না, ও যে আসতেছে এখন। বাংলায় সমস্যা নাই, কারণ আমার ওয়ার্ড স্টুডেন্টরা আমরা চিনে, ওরা এখন বাংলা শুনতে প্রবলেম নাই, ওরা বাকিটা তো বুঝতেছে। আচ্ছা এখন দেখো
বাংলাতে একটু বুঝবে না।
হ্যাঁ, সো স্টক না, বেশিরভাগ স্টুডেন্ট পাকিস্তানি, ওরা কিছু কিছু বুঝে। So you can find out the cost of your issuing as well as the stock remaining, either LIFO or FIFO. The question requirement will be provided. You have to find out either LIFO or FIFO. So this is the normal way. Clear? Now the question is, suppose if price of your commodity goes up, day by day price of your commodity goes up, then you guys will be asked the question, that is, what will be your production cost? Suppose, as for example, what will be your production cost in FIFO rather LIFO? See, production cost means in producing you have to issue your material from your warehouse, right? So what will be the issuing price? That will be your production cost. Clear? Now the fact is, price is uprising. Price of a specific commodity is uppriced, increased. So the question is, what will be your production cost in FIFO? That means if you use FIFO basis, in that case what will be your production cost rather using LIFO? That is, if you do not use LIFO, rather you are using FIFO, in this situation what will be your production cost? See, FIFO and LIFO. If you use LIFO method, in that case your issuing is from the bottom, right? Bottom means the increased price. That means in the case of LIFO, your production cost is high. So bolo ki দেখো
ABC
তুমি ভুল লিখতেছো রে
না ভুল লিখতেছি এটা ঠিক আছে জবাব যে আমি ক্লাস নিচ্ছি যে
বাবা
হ্যাঁ
কথা বল
বল
এই যে আজকে বল আমার ভালো লাগতেছে
কেন
ওরে টিচার তো বকালে সে কিন্তু একটু বড় টিচার বলছে যে তুমি যেমন কথা
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে okay see the fact is when you are using LIFO the situation is prices are pricing that means you are issuing from your bottom that means increased price right খেয়াল করে দেখো LIFO in LIFO you are issuing in from the bottom that is increased price but when you are using FIFO you are issuing your raw material from the previous cases or the raw material you buy previously and previous price is decreased lower so here the issuing price will be lower so if you compare between these two the question is what will be your production cost in FIFO rather LIFO that means if you do not use LIFO you are using FIFO in that case your production cost will be lower because you are issuing the material from the material which is purchased in lower cost clear okay now I can ask you the question is what will be the production cost in LIFO rather FIFO right so here the production cost you are doing LIFO means you are issuing from the bottom that means from those stock which are purchased in higher cost that means here the production cost will be higher clear okay if the question is what will be the effect on profit if production cost is higher profit will be lower if production is lower profit will be higher so you can answer that question easily okay if the question is suppose the price decreases or reduces price per unit reduces then the question is what will be the production cost in LIFO rather FIFO LIFO that means you are issuing from the bottom means that is the thing you are purchased or you are purchased in lesser cost or reduced price that means here obviously the production cost will be lower but if you use FIFO rather than LIFO then production cost will be higher and in comparison of these things you can find out the profit effect on profit as well clear okay so question actually asked these are the conceptual question and in management accounting it is said that there is 50% will be conceptual question and 50% will be mathematical question so you have to remind the class lectures clear okay so this is all about LIFO FIFO there is another costing method you don't need to go through you just remind the concept that is FCO
Sir,
আসে কম্পারিজনের জন্য আসে FCO
F3 তে তো আসে
FCO means average costing method average in the case of average means the value that lies in between topmost and max and mean the average actually lies in between that is average costing so the fact is when the price is appraised in that case issuing that means when the prices go up in that case what will be the cost of your issuing the maximum cost will be from where LIFO first In that case, issuing by LIFO will be maximum. Clear? Then in between there will be the FCO. And FIFO will provide you the lowest cost. FIFO. FI, FO. Clear? When price is increasing. So you can find out profit as well. Clear? Okay. So if the question is price is increasing, what will be the FIFO pricing, or what will be the cost of issuing FIFO rather than FCO? You can easily say FIFO will provide lower cost than FCO. Clear? Okay. Then, if the price is reducing, in that case, the issuing price is reducing, right? So in that case, the initial stages you purchased higher cost. As the days goes on, the price is reducing, right? That's why in case of issuing your FIFO, FIFO will cost much. FIFO will cost most than FCO, then LIFO. Clear? So when cost is decreasing, your LIFO will provide you the lowest cost in case of issuing. Clear? So you can easily go through this structure. Now, another important thing, that is material handling. Process of purchase. It is another important thing. You can have this discussion in part of your class notes. Okay. Process of purchasing. Normally, each organization has a procurement department, or you can say purchase department, whose main job is to purchase the necessities or purchase the necessary goods or products from some specific supplier. So you need to know the process. The process actually starts from number one, that is creating a purchase requisition form. What do we mean by this? Purchase requisition form. Within the organization, there may be several departments: production, admin, sales, distribution, different kinds of functional departments. Each department may need different kinds of necessities. So they ask to the top level management by fulfilling a purchase requisition form. That is, these are the material that we require. Suppose one department urging, that is, we need 2 computers. Another department is urging, we need some other kinds of equipments, right? So these urging actually done by fulfilling this purchase requisition form by different department. Then from this purchase requisition form, the purchase department create a purchase order. Within this, there may be several levels or several ladders. We need not to go through that. That is, when there are purchase requisition form in the hand of the purchase department, now it is purchase department task to acquire or collect these kinds of material from anywhere. The process is, the purchase department can ask for quotation to go for tender. So we are not going to that. We are just shortly, we just discuss depend upon the short list. So initially, purchase department create a purchase order, and this purchase order actually sent by this purchase department to 2 different or 3 different places, you can say. Whenever the purchase order is created, this purchase order actually sent. It's a document, paper document, evidence, the purchase order. Through this purchase order, the purchase department actually orders some specific goods to be delivered by the supplier. So this purchase order actually sent three different areas, or you can say location. One is sent to the supplier. That is, this is my purchase order, supply these kinds of goods to me, or deliver these kinds of goods to me, supplier. One purchase order sent to the accounts department of the organization. You will send this to your accounts department that I have ordered this much, right? Okay. Another order will be sent to your own store manager. That is, initially you are informing your store manager that I have ordered this much quantity or this are the product, so you can assume that within next 3 or 2 days this delivery comes forward and you have to store that. So you are informing 3 different people through this purchase order: supplier, your accounts department, and your store manager. Here, now the fact is, supplier. When the supplier has purchase order, supplier has purchase order. Supplier has his own store, and there is a specific personnel who is responsible to run that, who is called manager, store manager. So purchase order. Then the supplier actually created dispatch note. Dispatch note, or you can say delivery note. The supplier created a dispatch note, and this dispatch note is sent to his store manager. This dispatch note means here the supplier actually provide the authority to his own store to deliver those kinds of goods to a specific customer. Without this dispatch note, the store manager cannot deliver any kinds of goods from the store. Clear? So this is the kind of authority, providing authority. When the supplier's store manager has the dispatch note, right, he then create a delivery note. Then he created delivery note. Delivery note means in that document the store manager actually write down what are the product and what are the quantity. With this delivery note, the store manager delivered the specific item or specific product to the customer's store manager, right? So now this delivery note, customer store, right? The fact is, before taking this delivery or before accepting this delivery, the customer's store manager will amalgam these delivery notes with his previous purchase order is provided. The purchase order he has already, we have already discussed that, and now he has the delivery notes, right? If both purchase order and delivery notes are cooked, and then he check the physical material with the documents. If everything is okay, then he will accept this. Accept this by signing these delivery notes. Or he can, initially we will discuss that. That is, when everything is okay, the store manager of the customer can sign the delivery notes. When he providing sign, that means I accept these things and everything is okay. Then the delivery notes become the GRN, goods received note. Or in reality, the customer's store manager can create another GRN. Different. So there are two ways. Either signing the delivery notes it becomes GRN, or GRN is produced or provided separately. Clear? GRN. This GRN, goods received note, that means customer's store on behalf of the customer is providing the sign, that is I have received the material, I have received the things. Then this GRN, goods received notes, this GRN actually sent to two different locations. One is sent to the supplier, another is sent to the accounts. So now accounts department has two different documents. One is purchase order, and another is goods received notes. To the purchase order, accounts department, see that is this much or this amount of quantities ordered, and through the GRN it is understood by the accounts department that this quantity has already been received, right? When the supplier has the GRN, now supplier actually earns his payment through a document which is called invoice. So supplier then create a invoice. Normally, but in some cases invoice is provided the delivery notes as well. This different circumstances, but the fact is just like that. So with the invoice, this is another kind of paper document. By fulfilling this invoice actually sent to the account. Now the question is making the payment to the supplier, right? Account department will amalgam three different documents: purchase order, GRN, and invoices. Invoice should be checked. That is whether the invoice is created properly, or whether the invoice is provided for the goods that has been delivered, or for the goods that have been provided order, or for the goods that has been received. Here, no amount of bogness or error should be there. So if all these papers are completed, okay, then the accounts department actually create a check on behalf of the organization and send it to the supplier. This is the normal procedure of purchasing. So in this segment, you guys may be asked the question, that is, before making up the purchase or before clearing the check, which two documents will be amalgam or quote? But write down, that is invoice and GRN and purchase order. These three documents should be cooked up. Then the payment can be comes from. Clear? Okay. Then another important thing, some accounting tasks in material. Journals. Number one, you guys will find these kinds of journal in part of your class course. Some examples is also there. We will discuss the concept here. Journal. Suppose, one, today you purchased $1,000 of material. $1,000 of material. So how will journal this? You are purchasing the material, raw material. Purchase is a kind of current asset, right? Inventory. That means debit. It generates some current asset, that means purchase. Purchase 1,000, right? Suppose you commit the purchase on credit. That means with this purchase you are creating some kinds of liability. What kinds of liability? Before making up the payment, that is a kind of liability for you. So that will be credit. You can say this is payable control account. Why we are using control account? Control means sum. There will be several kinds of purchase. So as a whole, all kinds of liability will be represented through this payable control account. So debit purchase to credit payable control account. Clear? Okay. Now number 2. From this 1,000, this is your stock already. That means you have already purchased this. From this purchase, $100 material is returned. Returned to supplier because of some damages maybe there or spoilage maybe there. So you return $100 material. So when you are returning $100 material, that means your stock is go down that $100 material, and at the same time you are decreasing your liability of that $100. You don't need to pay for that, right? That as you are returning that. So first of all, debit. Initially your payable control was 1,000. That means you have to pay $1,000. Now you are returning this $100. That means you need not to pay that $100. So you are decreasing your liability. That's why debit payable control account $100. Right? You have decreased the liability. Then credit. Initially purchase is a kind of a stock to you, current asset. You are decreasing that current asset by returning. That's why purchase return, you can say purchase return $100. Clear? Accounting coding. তাহলে মাথা ঘুরে খালি খালি ইনভেন্টরিতে এগুলো আছে
আজকে অনেক ভালো
Number 3. Memorize the sequence. End of the day, end of the discussion, will create a ledger account. 1,000 initially purchased, 100 returned. Today, from this stock, you are issuing $200 material. You are issuing for direct. You are issuing $200 from your stock, $200 material for, or as a kind of direct material. Direct material. Direct material, that is material used for, or material directly related to the production process. That's so when you are using this direct material, your stock is decreasing that much. That much. And you say it's a kind of expense because you are using this material in production process, so it's a kind of expense. The expense is called work in progress. The expense is called work in progress. Any kinds of expense we represent through debit. So debit work in progress. You can write down work in progress. This much material reduced or decreased from your stock because you are using this from your stock. So reduction, any kinds of reduction in non-current asset. It's a kind of current asset. Will be represented in credit. So credit material. Clear? Now, number 3. Suppose as for example, issue. Suppose $100 material you are also issuing as a kind of indirect material. Indirect material, any kinds of indirect cost is the part of overheads. We have already discussed all the kinds of indirect cost. You can say that is overheads. So it is also issuing, but for indirect purpose, right? That's why this is another kind of expense. But this is called overhead expense, indirect cost expense. If the direct expense, that is WIP. If indirect, that is overhead expense. So here the debit is kind of overhead control account 100, and this much stock lowered, reduced means credit, material stock 100 reduced. Clear? So now the fact is, if end of the day, if you are asked to create a material stock control account ledger, number one কি ছিল? In number one, we purchased $1,000 material. The journal was purchased to payable ledger control account, right? তাহলে material কোন সাইডে ক্রিয়েট হচ্ছিল? ডেবিট সাইডে। ডেবিট সাইডে, in debit side we write down the name payable control account. Payable control account 1000. By seeing this, what will mean? No, payable. By seeing this, you can easily imagine, that means you purchase some material but you do not pay for that. It may be cash 1000 also, if you can purchase on cash. Clear? So, by seeing this ledger, you can say that is you have stock 1000 material but you still didn't pay for that to your supplier. Clear? Okay. Then, second journal was number 2. সেটা ক্যাশে, সেটা লায়াবিলিটি আমরা এখানে ম্যাটেরিয়াল, তাহলে এই ম্যাটেরিয়াল এখানে কি বাড়তেছে, দ্যাটস দ্য সিস্টেম। নাম্বার 2 was we returned $100 material. By returning the material, we decrease the stock. Any kinds of decreasing will be credit side. Our journal was কি ছিল? Payable control account to purchase return, right? So purchase return credit, the name will be payable control account. Payable control account 100. By seeing this, what it represent? It represent now as a whole your total payable was $900 and your stock is 900. Clear? Okay. This was the second. Then the third one. Number 3. You issue $200 material for direct purpose. The journal was work in progress 200 is the kind of expense. Your material reduced 200, right? This was. So material reduced for this purpose. It is means paid side. What would be the name? Name is work in progress. That means work in progress purpose. You issue 200. Then end of the day, number 4, you issued some material for indirect purpose, which is called overhead to material. The journal was there, overhead $100 to material stock 100, right? Just like that. So it will be overhead control account 100. So if you create the CD, carry it down, see 1000. That means CD 600. That means your BD 600. That means still it is a ledger of material control account, material stock control. Still you have $60 material in hand or in stock. That's why it is debit side. It will never be credit side. Because it's the kind of side. The balance should be debit balance. Clear? So you guys can be asked these kinds of journal in material or as a whole the material stock control ledger at the end of the day in your exam. Clear? Then you just go through some examples, these chapter related examples. Suppose according to your course note. The example 1. Example 1 according to your course note. The example 1 is the company uses component at the rate of 6,000 units per year. That means it's a demand. Units. We have discussed in the earlier chapter, that is, D should always be calculated year basis, per annum basis. Then, which are bought in at a cost of $1.2 from the supplier, purchase price $1.2. Then the company orders 1,000 units each time it places an order, regardless of the quantity order. Order means that is how much order the company places each time. So we can say this is EOQ here, 1,000. So it is easily understandable. That is average means here, what would be your average inventory? EOQ divided by 2, that is by 2, 500. You can easily find out that. Then it costs $20 each time to place an order. That means CO, ordering cost per order is $20. Then the total holding cost is 20% of price. Holding cost, that means holding cost is 20% of purchase price. So 1.2 into 0.2, that is 0.24. So these are the information provided. So in your exam hall, if you write down this in workings, graph, it will be very much easy to find out the requirements. Now the requirement is find out the annual holding cost. First of all, from this you have to find out the annual holding cost, that is what will be your TCH. Your TCH we have already discussed according to assumption of EOQ. TCH means holding cost per unit into not the total, average holding average. So according to our discussion, holding cost was 0.24 and average stock was 500. 1. So this will be your total holding cost. Clear? Then number 2, requirement B. Requirement B was what will be your annual ordering cost. That means what will be your TCO. Ordering cost per order into number of order. We already find out that number of order is given by EOQ. So here our CO is $20. Demand was 6,000 and at a time you are ordering 1,000. So your number of order will be 6. Right? So we can find out this. It is also 120. And this must be equal. Why? Because at your EOQ, we have discussed in the assumption segment. That is at the EOQ, your total holding cost and total ordering cost should be equal. Our calculation is 120. Clear? Yeah. It is বিভিন্ন ভাবে ইউজ করা। Then example 2. Student from Pakistan, they are continuously thanking me because of my classes and because of these notes. তুমি কেন করবা? তোমার ছেলেমেয়ে সব কাজ পাস করতেছে না? বুঝছে? আমি তো বানানো কিছু বলি না। বুঝছি? Example 1. Example 2 আসো 2. Example 2. Example 2 বলতেছে the company has recorded the following details for component 427 which are sold in boxes. The fact is some components are sold per unit basis. But some components are sold box basis. That is, red leaf will not sell per unit pen. Rather, they will sell per box. Box may contain 12 or 20 pen, right? Okay. So you have to clear about this, whether unit or box. If the ordering cost per order or something or some other kinds of price is provided unit, then demand should also be unit. If the price is provided by boxes, then the demand should be counted as boxes. Okay, here the component is saying that is 427 is sold in boxes. Ordering cost 32 per order placed. CO is 32 per box. Per order, in every order, the CO is $32. Purchase price P. Purchase price is $20 per box of 10 components. $20. Let's say that this $20 of per box, not unit. $20 per box. Then বলা হচ্ছে holding cost CH. CH is 10% of purchase price. 20 into 0.1. That means $2. Obviously box. Then monthly demand. Demand here is provided 1500 components monthly, but we have discussed that is demand should be annually, so this is monthly. To find out this, if you multiply this 12, it will provide you the annual. And this is unit, all the things are provided according to the box, and we have discussed that 10 units in per box, right? So you have to divide this by 10, so it will provide you the annual demand by box, which is something which you have to. এখন এখান থেকে from this you have to find out the holding cost and the annual ordering cost. You have to find out TCH and TCO. So if you want to find out TCH and TCO, TCH is CH into EOQ by 2 and CO means CO into demand by EOQ. In every case you need to find out the EOQ, right? So you can find out EOQ first. Here EOQ is root over 2CO D by CH. By plotting all the values you can find out the EOQ. And putting out the values of EOQ here, you can find out TCH and TCO. In every case these two should be equal. Clear? ওখানে করে দেয়া আছে দেখতে পাবেন। So these are the main problem, and all other problem examples are provided there. Solution is also there. You can easily understand that. If any problem arises, you can ask me. Clear? Thank you.